So it's time for another milk run. And it's a Friday. And the reason I wanted to make this video, I made the last one, which I haven't published yet. So if you're watching this, you probably haven't seen the previous one, where I went out for another drive in my 912. But I went off on this sort of tangent talking about imposter syndrome and stress and all sorts of stuff. And I'm in my 912, and I had a look at about 5 minutes of it after I'd recorded it. I thought, can I really publish that? Sort of put that out on YouTube for, about 50 people to listen to, when I'm not sure. Am I comfortable sharing that? Do people want to listen to that? Well, probably unlikely. But anyway, first things first, thank you for listening. Everyone who's subscribed, thank you again. If you haven't, please hit that subscribe button for inane chat and long rambling drives, which seem to be for milk a lot these days. And what I would say is, I've just been a guest on Michael Bath's porschecooled podcast. It's a great podcast. You can get it on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts. It's a great listen. It's normally Michael and Steve just sat around chatting about all things Porsche, random stuff as well, but I like it because it feels like you're sat around the table with them, and I really like that about it. And sometimes when I'm out for my walk and I'm listening to it, it's almost like I want to interject because it feels that cozy. I didn't want to say the word intimate. But anyway, that was really enjoyable. I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed the topics covered. It was a little bit, I feel like I wasn't properly prepared for it, just simply because everything's insane at the moment. So I apologize for that if that comes across. But the real purpose, the crux of it, I think we got across, which was, if you want to get a 911, the things that you should do. Now, on the back of that, the thing that I wanted to discuss, or talk about, we're not discussing. I'd love for it to be a two-way discussion. I guess it is with the comments. But anyway, it's the thing that I've seen a lot recently, and maybe it's because, social media and YouTube and all of those things, you might look at something and very quickly it becomes an echo chamber. You're kind of, all the things coming back at you are the things that you've looked at. So suddenly stuff doesn't just pop up that's outside of your sphere of interest that you go, oh, that's something new. No, it's more stuff that feeds your existing interest, point of view, almost opinion, I guess. But anyway, so the stuff that I get thrown back at me is the sheer volume of videos about 996s, about which one's the best, IMS, this, that, how much they should pay for them, whether they're popular or not, all of that stuff. I love that. But the thing is, I feel like people are trying to force the price up by saying, oh, a McLaren, trying to force the price up by saying what a great car they are, they're so readily available, but the price is going to go up and up and up and up. And what I would like for it to happen, I know I own one, and I know the value of mine is now probably more than I've paid for it. No, it is more than I've paid for it. It's crusty as hell, everybody knows that. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll see, and at the moment there's an additional problem that I've just noticed. I've stopped off somewhere, I've filled up with fuel, and one of the exhaust tips, I've got the pea shooters, I don't have the proper exhaust tips fitted even though I own them. One of the clamps is broken on it, so it's pointing downwards. It looks awful. It looks like you're looking at it at the back and it's got a lazy eye. So I just need to get that home without that falling off and then not drive it again, because it needs to be fixed. So I need to just order that clamp. I think it's a 5-minute job, I hope. But anyway, so what people are doing is they're doing these videos, and some of them have actually been a bit blatant in the hope that it'll drive the price up because they already own one. Whereas I'm thinking, there's quite a few of them for sale out there, and they're between £12,000 and £15,000 for a decent one. But the ones that have been for sale for a long time they're probably not in the best condition. They've probably still got a decent amount of service history, but someone will say hasn't had the IMS done, blah, 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 blah. And then you just go, well, I'll just take a punt. And you work out what's the worst case scenario, because when you go out and say I'm going to buy a 911, and then you go, right, I want it to have fantastic service history, the IMS done, I want to get, you know, an inspection done, it's got to have decent mileage, and it's got to be immaculate. And then you just think, well, I've just priced myself out, and also I've created so much noise around it that I'm not going to get one. But if you just went out and bought one like this one, and I know there's, up till now, touch wood, I've been very lucky that I'm able to just go out and enjoy it. Whereas someone might get one, and not long after they'll go, oh shit, it's died. And they didn't buy it for the price I bought it, so they won't be able to just put it on eBay and someone will come and take it away. But at the same time, I want the prices to stay low, because I want more people to be able to experience 911 ownership, because all of the negativity around the 996, well, how can that negativity not continue through to the 997, the 991, the 992? Because the initial negativity was, oh, it's water cooled, it's got those lights at the front, and then you just think, but do you know what, it's still awesome to drive. I haven't driven this for 2 whole weeks, and it fired up. It's almost up to temperature, but I'm going to give it the beans anyway. It's ridiculous. Every time I look at it and I go, I haven't driven that in ages. Am I just ruining it by leaving it? Well, I am ruining it by leaving it there, not cleaning it, but by not using it. But then when I jump in it and I go, that's why I want it. That's why I want to keep it. It's just silly. It's silly how good it is to drive. I don't have another reference point of driving, apart from my 912, which is completely different, of driving a 991, a 997, a turbo, or anything like that. But bang for buck, this cannot be beaten, and I put it out there to anybody. And what I want is for more people to be able to enjoy this kind of, oh god, I can see a lot of moss growing when I try and look out. What I want is for more people to just be able to go out there and say, I've always wanted a 911. And do you know what, like me, probably thought I'll never be able to get one, it's so far out of reach. But there's a specific set of circumstances where you'd be able to go, do you know what, I can take that leap. Over a very specific set of circumstances. That just sounds lame. But in that way where you'd be able to look at it and go, I've got X amount of money. So look at it that way. I've got X amount of money and I want a 911. Don't go, I want a 911, I want it to be this color, I want it to have this spec, I want it to be matching numbers, matching blah, blah, blah. Because then you're going, well, I'm looking to buy an investment that I'm going to keep in the garage. And I'm not going to drive, and I'm not going to put the miles on it, and I'm not going to do this, and I'm not going to do that. And you just go, no. What you want is a car that you can drive and enjoy. And when people say, oh, which Porsche have you got? I've got a 911. So it's bragging rights, it's enjoyment. It's ridiculous enjoyment, and it makes me smile every time I get in this car and the first time I put my foot down. So I'm going to say, everybody just get out there, get one, get on the road, enjoy them, and don't get hung up on, because if you're going to pay top dollar, then you're going to keep it in the garage. That's fine if that's what you've set out to do. But if you've gone, I really want a 911 because I want to drive it, I want to enjoy it, I want to be thrashing it around all over the place, then get the right one. Get the right one. Because everybody says, oh, get the best one you can afford. And you end up going, well, hang on, I'm now just ending up with something that I've spent so much money on, but I can't, what's going on here? I can't now justify driving it, putting the miles on, go, putting the miles on. Oh, lady crossing the road. Putting the miles on, getting the, this lady's just going to walk across too, putting the miles on, getting the right spec, then it's, oh, I need to service it, I need to do this, I need to do that, and before you know it, the main seal is leaking because you're not using it at the back. That happened to this one, and it stopped leaking when I started using it. Then the IMS, I've heard anecdotally that it doesn't help it if you don't drive it, and mine's such an old one, it's got the double thingy layered IMS bearing, that's less likely to fail. So technically, from the data available, it's 1%. And even then, I mean, yeah, it's got 151,000 miles. Come on, that can't be right. That people are. Let me just park before I crash into this person across there. But it can't be. So if it's 1%, and then you just go, do you know what? That's worth a chance, because if you spend more and more and more money thinking you're de-risking that investment, you're not. You're just increasing the money that you're potentially going to lose, and you're increasing the likelihood that you'll have a car that you'll think, I can't put the miles on, I can't get it scratched, I can't do this, I can't do that. So I'd say just get out there. One example that I saw, I'm not sure of the full story, I've seen the videos, but if you go and look at YouTube videos of the female mechanic, she's bought a similar car to this, and she bought it for about £5,000. It's a Tiptronic, but it did have a gearbox problem, so she spent £2,500 getting it on the road. So £7,500, and then an MOT and bits and bobs. But she's done some good videos about being out driving it, and I used to always be maybe a bit of a snob about the Tiptronic, but no, it's not, because people talk about it in a way that, well, I'm out on a track, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. If you're going to track a 911, you're not going to buy a Tiptronic. I mean, some people would buy a PDK, but I'd say just go and get one. Is the Tiptronic cheaper? I'll probably have a look and see how much they're going for, but that's what I do anyway, and I just wanted to say that. Anyway, thank you everybody for watching. I'm not sure if I'm going to put that other video on where I talk about imposter syndrome, which I suffer from quite badly. But I feel a little bit de-stressed, less stressed at the moment because it's Friday, and once I've got the shopping, I can just go home and relax and just breathe a bit for the weekend. But anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll have another video soon. Thanks.